Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Go ahead, give this channel, subscribe, share, leave some messages or comments, hit the thumbs up for the like, notification bell to be informed on all episodes when they drop. Most importantly, if you enjoy this content, please feel free to share it. Sharing is caring. Share it to your family, your friends, your coworkers, anywhere and everywhere in your social media platforms. Let's get this raw and uncut material out there to the millions that don't know we are here. Let's go ahead and deviate from the path for just a second. I know there is a lot of important issues and topics that are going on right now that are big news all over the place. I just touched on one yesterday. But I got a little behind today with my errands that I had to run. And with this hernia jumping off in my scrotum area, it's a little harder to move around sometimes. So I got a little behind, but in order to keep the consistency of dropping a vid every single day, I just decided to bring you this quick one right here to address a question and some comments that are out there and some kind of a belief regarding all of us who used to be in prison creating a YouTube channel or getting on social media and talking. We must be phonies. We all must be PCs and SNYs, and we ain't real gangsters because real gangsters don't get on social media and talk. I've heard it all, and then I heard it on one of my buddies' channels, Splinter from Prison POV. Shout out to Splinter. He also got caught up with this one as well. People were asking him, hey, you must be SNY. You're not supposed to be on there. What's going to happen to you when you go back to prison? Are you going to get smashed? And he said straight up like, no, I'm not going to get smashed. Why? Because I don't expose any game on here. I don't throw people's names out there. I don't tell people about any of the secrets. And he even mentioned, I know some secrets that nobody knows. And I'm not on here exposing it just for views and all that stuff. And he's not. Neither am I. Neither are a lot of us. In regards to how my car views the whole talking on camera thing, that is basically a rule that is when you're in the inside. When the media comes into a prison, it's usually for one of two reasons: to expose corruption or to look at the living conditions. The correctional staff and the administration alike does not want that media there. They don't want them there. But because it's a tax-funded facility, they have to let them in. They have to show the public what they're paying for. And if you're on camera bashing the correctional officers and bashing the administration for all these horrendous living conditions that you're in the middle of, what do you think that's going to do to you? Is that going to draw some unwanted heat to you? Some unwanted attention that you don't want? Maybe bring heat to the pad. When I mean the pad, your car. They're very vindictive, them correctional officers in the administration. The minute those cameras are out the door and through the gates, it's on. All right, motherfucker, you want to talk shit? They'll just start tearing up people's cells. They'll just start fucking with people. They might even stir up drama between your car and another car by singling them out and targeting them. Yeah, it's because, this dude Rutherford over here was talking to the camera, so now we're going to tear your house up. They do that shit all the time. It happens on a regular. So why not just avoid that headache altogether and just don't say nothing to them when you're in there? I know it's hard, and I know everybody wants to, be a voice, and everybody wants to stand up with that fist and challenge the horrendous conditions. But think of the heat that you're bringing to yourself because you still got to live there. There was this old movie with Kevin Bacon where he was an inmate in Alcatraz and he's being charged with a murder. And when he won that case, they sent him back to Alcatraz and they killed him there. So don't think that they won't retaliate against you for talking to the media. So they have it a general rule, just don't talk to the media. Not only that, but you can get so starstruck that you could start exposing game without even knowing about it. I've watched many episodes of Lockdown watching dudes expose all this game. Like, goddamn, man. Why would you put that out there? In the feds, we used to have Metamucil. And for a lot of people that have issues with their bowels, Metamucil's like gold. Especially the people that are older. They took the Metamucil out of the feds. You want to know why? Because some jackass on lockup showed them how to fucking make like a glass knife out of Metamucil. Next thing you know, some CO somewhere in some federal prison saw that, went right back to the prison, told the administration, hey, they're making knives out of fucking Metamucil. I used to call them poop knives because that's how silly it was fucking sounding. These cats were showing people how to make darts, how to make fucking fishing lines, how to do this, how to do that. I mean, you really don't have to go far than a couple of different channels that are here on YouTube, and you basically get the scoop right then and there. But speaking for myself, I have crossed no lines. And there ain't nobody on the inside waiting for me to go back in there so they could put a knife in me for going on social media. As a matter of fact, I get a lot of shout-outs. I get a lot of people reaching out to me from my car and from other places in the prison system saying, you got a damn good channel, man. You know, thanks a lot. Thanks for, being a voice. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. And a lot of people say, well, if they're going to kill you, they ain't going to tell you about it. Well, check this out. I've also ran across people that are out here in Oklahoma that have done time in Cali, and they're still involved in some things, and they didn't put a bullet in my head. They shook my hand, man. I had this one dude take a picture with me, man. Look at, man, I got that fool JD from Prison Break Raw right here taking a picture with me. These fools rushed up on me, man. I thought they were going to rob me when I first seen them. It's true. I haven't done anything that has put anybody's lives in jeopardy. I haven't said anything that has added to some investigation or has helped somebody get convicted or even to create a new indictment for somebody they might not have known about. None of that stuff. I know where to go and where not to go. And from what I've seen, it's the same thing with Splinter. It's the same thing with Neil Dezad. Same thing with American Cholo, Dubs, Hood Stocks. But I can't really say the same for some other channels. Mitch is another one who doesn't expose any game and knows how far to go and what lines that you can't cross. He knows full well as well. But I'm speaking just on behalf of the California channels that are out there that I know of. A good rule of thumb to know as far as understanding who is probably an S&Y or who is probably on that PC time is when you watch a channel and they're giving up all these names and they're giving up all this information and they're going to that degree. For those of us that have been convicts for a long time, we just look at each other like, damn, yeah, we know where you were at. Some of them make it obvious, others not so obvious, right? Where they were doing their time at. And it's not to take anything away from them. They're free to do whatever they want. I mean, they've been doing whatever they want since going on that side of the fence. They think that that's going to generate them traffic and views and subscribers and all that. By all means, fucking handle your business. But for the rest of yous out there that are viewers, don't for 1 second believe that just because you have these other channels that do that shit, don't think that we're all fucking in the hat. Because the channels that I've named are dudes that are dudes that have been certified as being solid. One of these guys that I mentioned, Gil from American Cholo, even lives in his own neighborhood still to this day. So what it is somebody has blown out of proportion in custody rule that we have when we're in custody. You don't talk to the media, but when we're out here, we're on social media, no big deal. Nobody's getting exposed. We ain't exposing games, so why would anybody be pissed off? I just wanted to touch on that because, I find it funny every time I hear it. Somebody telling me like some dude from a level 1 yard or done time in camps his whole life trying to tell me I'm fucking on here, I'm breaking the rules. Or anybody else is breaking the rules. Don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's funny, though. But it really should be addressed at some point in time, and I'm going to go ahead and address it now. The general gist of what I am doing on my channel is I'm trying to help you break free from your incarcerated state of mind. When somebody brings a story or a topic to the surface, it could be anybody about Ahmaud Arbery or George Floyd or anything else, you know what I'm going to do? People see things in a circle, commonly referred to as tunnel vision. They only see things one way, and everybody parrots all these status quo channels and shit that are out there. They all parrot each other, all holding each other's dicks. Like I said before, what do? I take that knowledge in the form of a circle, and I square it off like geometry, and I expand it so that you could see the four corners of information regarding any topic that ain't currently there, to help you think, to help you dig a little deeper. It's called visual preparation, is what it's called. To prepare you to see more in a wider lens as far as your visual is concerned. And it prepares you to understand that the limited information that you're given, there's more to the story always. And I'm the person that's out there trying to find that more to the story. Get a lot of ridicule, get a lot of heat, but that's what I do. As far as my time in prison, I could talk to you about currency. I could talk to you about things that I've personally done without throwing anybody else out there. I got stories for days, weeks, and years, man, because I've been in there for days, weeks, and years. But for some of yous out there that are up in the comments talking about we ain't real gangsters because real gangsters don't get on social media, me personally, I'm not on here on no gangster shit. I'm not on here telling you what a fucking badass shot caller I am and all this and this and that, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm not a part of any of it anymore. I don't have to have dropped out or gone PC to not be a part of it. I just got out of prison and didn't look back. I talk about the things that need to be talked about without going too far, and it's all about your delivery. I never could understand some of these channels that expose all this game, breaking down hiding spots, throwing people's names out there, doing all this shit like that. It's like, dog, do you not understand that there are people that are inside right now that rely on all of those secrets in order to maintain themselves? I mean, goddamn, they're already taken out of society. But yeah, if you know how to articulate your words and you know how to develop content, you don't need to expose a whole bunch of game in order to get views, in order to get followers, in order to get all that. Yeah, I may not have the biggest platform out there, but guess what? My platform's not sinking. It's not staying stagnant in one spot. Because I've learned how to narrate stories and things, and to talk to you about prison and basically help you fill in the blanks without exposing any game. It's not easy. Sometimes it takes me a couple hours to get a video rocking and rolling because I go back and I might have said a little bit too much or something like that. But I'm careful. If I was any kind of a piece of shit, it wouldn't matter to me. But one doesn't have to be a gangster to basically respect the fact that people are still stuck in that way of life, and I'm not here to do the cops' job for them. I don't get paid to do their job. I don't want to do their job. Especially not with the way they're treating people these days. I'm all about criminal justice reform. I'm all about breaking you free from that self-made prison that you are currently locked in, doing a life sentence. I'm about breaking people free from that peasant mentality and making them into kings and queens. I use the convict code and the etiquette and everything that I learned, that I used for destruction and the bad. I now teach people how to use it for the good. Because you can have all that same etiquette, that same code, and you could still carry yourself in a way like a G without actually like breaking the law. You got to be a certain level of a gangster to be a business person. I had a stockbroker in the feds tell me that any gangster, street hustlers, street gangsters, something like that in the streets, they'd be badass fucking investors and badass stockbrokers if they learned how to use that energy and that hustle and that game for running these numbers. We are here to basically like be an example of you can overcome all the obstacles and you can become a better person. Yeah, I've engaged in the silliness. I've done this and I've done that. But for the most part, I've been pretty consistent with my message. I don't expose game, but I'm going to basically tell you about the prison in a way that I experienced it without giving you all this game and knowledge information that you don't need to have unless you're going to go in there. So I hope this really breaks it down for you and helps you understand. And for some of yous out there that are misunderstood, this don't get on social media or don't get on the camera rule only pertains to somebody on the inside that is talking to the media. Because if that's the case, if I was just some regular white dude in the cornfield in middle America somewhere right there, if I wanted to know about the game, I'll just fucking listen to a rapper. Shit, I'd learn more from high-powered records than I would from my channel about that business. How come nobody telling them nothing? You have to understand that when you're on the inside, these rules are for reasons. You don't talk to the media because the administration will use it as a means to retaliate against you. Plus, you might say something you're not supposed to say. Or you might mention something you should have never mentioned. Because you're starstruck. You're on that camera. You know, millions of people are going to be watching you. People do stupid things on them lockup shows. But we on social media, we ain't in prison no more. Ain't nobody calling me at 5 o'clock in the morning and telling me fucking buenos dias, put your shoes on, burpee time. All that stuff left at the door. So get off some of these dudes, man. Get off their nuts with that bullshit. Ain't nobody on here trying to be a gangster, man. We on here talking about our experiences. And that's it, that's all. All the rest of that shit, just a waste of your breath to even try to troll somebody with stupidity like that. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, not sugarcoated, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality. And I'm out.